Welcome to Trauma Team Video. You know, it's been 15 years since the Toxic Avenger came out, and finally, on the 15th anniversary of Toxie, Trauma is bringing you Toxic Avenger, the director's cut. This is the cut that contains all of the material that Michael Herz and I originally wanted, with all the wonderful gore and violence and sex, the full head-crushing scene. When the Toxic Avenger first came out, in order to get the movie into movie theaters, you had to have an R rating back in 1983. You couldn't get a movie into movie theaters that had an X or an unrated situation, or a movie with all the gore and sex and dismemberment that Trauma enjoys, unless you were Midnight Cowboy, and that was about the only one. You know, there have been numerous versions of this movie, between the theatrical versions, the video versions, all of the foreign international versions. The French had a French Toxic Avenger. It was called Toxique. They cut out 30 seconds. In Canada, they cut out about 45 seconds. In England, the Toxic Avenger unfortunately got disemboweled. Japan had its version, but it was sort of upside down because, you know, they're on the bottom side of the earth. In Italy, the Toxic Avenger, Vengador Toxico, in Spain, did some censoring. In Germany, about a half hour was cut out of the Toxic Avenger. They called the Toxic Avenger Atomic Hero. In the United States, R-rated version, about 15 minutes were cut out. And then, of course, there's HBO. They created their own version. Showtime created its own version of the Toxic Avenger. USA Network put out the Toxic Avenger. Video companies put out the Toxic. Watch your back, James. You're going to fall into the gutter there. So we never were able to get a director's cut. And again, thanks to you fans. Thanks to you wonderful fans who have kept Toxie alive for 15 years and made him pretty much a national institution, sort of Trauma's Mickey Mouse. Oh, I almost forgot. Stay tuned at the end of the film, because there are some scenes that we haven't shown before. These are scenes that got cut out of the original Toxic Avenger because they weren't quite right. This version of the Toxic Avenger director's cut is dedicated to my friend and co-director, Mr. Michael Herz, and even more important, or as important, maybe, no, more important, you fans. Here comes the Toxic Avenger director's cut. Let's watch.